Pay like $2 million to fight me. You can't just think I'm gonna fight you for some no-name, and then later the haters are gonna be like, yeah, you beat him up because he's a nobody. He's a nobody, bro. He's nobody. Well, of course you beat him up. Who is he?
So I broke down how much money King Azoulay really makes, and guys, the numbers are not adding up, like at all. And if you've seen my other videos, you know the numbers usually don't add up. But this is on another level. We're talking about a dude with over 500,000 followers on Instagram, nearly 500,000 on YouTube, claiming he's sold patents for $150 million, built a multi-million-dollar empire, living this insane alpha male luxury lifestyle. But when you actually dig into the data, the math suggests he's probably operating at a loss, or barely breaking even, while posting pictures that scream, "I'm filthy rich." And that's what we're doing today. I'm breaking down exactly how much money King Azoulay really makes. Not what he claims, not what it looks like, but what the actual verifiable data shows. And spoiler alert, the evidence is telling a very, very different story than the Lamborghini rental photos. For those of you who don't know, King Azoulay, real name Ben Azoulay, is this fitness influencer who absolutely exploded onto social media in March 2023. We're talking 537 Instagram followers, 487,000 YouTube subscribers, 317,500 on TikTok. The guy went from zero to everywhere in like 18 months, preaching this whole alpha male king mentality thing, plus skull conditioning. Yeah, we'll get to that insanity later. He's selling courses on becoming a champion, building wealth, real estate, crypto, the whole guru package. And he's presenting himself as living proof that it all works. Private jets in the posts, luxury watches, the whole 9 yards. But here's the thing, when you actually start pulling the thread on his income streams, looking at what the platforms actually pay, checking what his courses are really selling for, examining whether any of this adds up, it falls apart faster than his skull conditioning advice holds up to basic neuroscience. So buckle up, because we're about to do a full financial autopsy on the King Azoulay empire. And trust me, what we find is way more interesting than another one of his how to be an alpha TikToks, the outrageous claims. Alright, so before we get into what King Azoulay actually makes, we need to talk about what he claims he's made. Because these numbers are so absurd, they make NFT bros at the peak of the crypto bubble look humble. First up, the $150 million patent sale. According to King, he sold a patent when he was 24 years old for $150 million. 24 years old, $150 million for a patent. Now, here's a fun fact. There is exactly zero evidence this ever happened. None. No patent records, no new articles, no public filings, nothing. There isn't a $150 million patent sale to a 24-year-old that wouldn't have made the news. It would have made a lot of news, but there's literally nothing. Then there's the claim that he's generated $500 million across 16 businesses. $500 million? Guys, that's $500 million. Do you know what kind of business empire generates $500 million? Not the kind where you're desperately trying to get people to sign up for your Skool community. I'll tell you that much. Oh, and he also claimed he worked for the FBI in counterterrorism. Because of course he did. Why just be rich when you could also be a secret government operative?
I told you I worked in counterterrorism for over a decade. So for me, I wasn't allowed to be even on social media or any of these things.
Convenient that you can't talk about it so no one can verify.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for King, this claim is also completely unverifiable. But these claims are the foundation of his entire brand. He's not just another fitness influencer. He's a proven, ultra-successful entrepreneur who's already won the game and is now graciously teaching you how to win too. That's the image he's selling.
If you don't have money, you could always find somebody with money. All you have to do is find a good deal.
The problem is, when you're claiming you're worth over $100 million, but you can't show a single verified asset, people start asking questions. And when YouTubers like John Bravo Films start investigating, the whole house of cards get really wobbly really fast. The real numbers. So now that we know what King says he makes, let's talk about what he actually makes. And guys, this is where it gets really interesting. Let's start with YouTube. King Azoulay has posted 1,207 videos and gotten 270 million total views across his channel. That sounds impressive, right? Except YouTube pays notoriously badly for most content. Because on typical CPM rates for fitness content, those 270 million views have generated approximately $9,500 to $26,500 per year. At best, he's making about $2,200 a month from YouTube. For context, that's less than a lot of people's rent. Instagram is where he should be making bank. 537,000 followers is legitimately a lot. Third-party analytics estimate he's pulling in around $118,000 to $161,000 annually from Instagram. But here's the weird part. At his followers count, fitness influencers typically charge $5,000 to $8,000 per sponsored post. If King was posting even just 2 sponsored posts a month, he should be making $120,000 to $240,000 per year from his sponsorships alone. But the research found exactly 0 confirmed brand partnerships. 0. Nike? Nope. Gymshark? Nope. Under Armour? Lululemon? Any supplement company? Nope, nope, nope. And that's absolutely wild, because landing brand deals is literally the easiest money for an influencer at his level. Companies want to pay you. The fact that he has over 1 million followers and apparently can't land a single confirmed sponsorship should be a massive red flag. TikTok is a similar story. 317,500 followers, but TikTok pays even worse than YouTube. We're probably talking a few thousand a year, tops. So what if we add this all up? We're looking at somewhere between $127,000 and $188,000 per year from social media. That's his verified, platform-based income. He also runs a construction company called King Azoulay Builders. That's actually a real business with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. It does kitchen remodeling and renovations in the LA area, so that's legitimate. But construction companies don't release public financial data. Then there's his digital courses, the Kingdom Community, Become a Champion program, Kingdom Pro subscription, his cryptocurrency, King Coin, multiple products, all marketed as containing thousands of dollars in value. And here's where it gets really sketchy. None of them have public pricing. You have to inquire. You have to get on a call. The only price we could confirm is his Limitless Wealth Seminar at $49 to $497. But here's the wildest part. His Skool community shows 5 active members. 5. Not 5,000, not 500. 5. If we're extremely generous and assume he's got a few hundred people across all his programs paying maybe $100 to $200 a month, that could add maybe $100,000 to $300,000 a year. But that's being very generous, given that his public-facing community has 5 people in it. So, grand total, we're looking at probably $150,000 to $300,000 per year from all sources. Maybe $500,000 if everything is going perfectly. The expenses and the missing assets. Now, here's where the story goes from, okay, so he's not that rich, to, wait, how is this even working? Because making $300,000 a year is actually pretty good. The problem is the expenses. Running a multi-platform influencer business in LA is expensive. We're talking $18,000 to $50,000 per month in expenses. Housing in Agora Hills, $3,000 to $8,000 a month minimum. Staff for construction business, customer service, video editors, easily $6,000 to $12,500 per month. That's $72,000 to $150,000 per year just in labor. Content creation costs, platform operations for his courses, payment processing, marketing, another $6,000 to $18,000 monthly. Personal expenses, gym, supplements, food, travel, another $2,500 to $6,500 monthly. If we add this all up conservatively, we're looking at $220,000 to $600,000 per year in expenses. Let me say that again. $226,000 to $600,000 per year in expenses. Do you see the problem? His estimated income is $150,000 to $500,000. His expenses are $220,000 to $600,000. Best case scenario, he's maybe breaking even. Worst case, he's bleeding money every single year. And yet, he's out here posting like he's a multimillionaire. So here's the really interesting part. Despite all these luxury lifestyle posts, there are 0 verified assets in his name. No confirmed real estate holdings, no exotic cars registered to him, no major purchases that can be documented, nothing. The research literally noted that his lifestyle posts, quote, may feature borrowed or rented luxury items, strategic photography, and selective presentation rather than actual asset ownership, end quote. In other words, there's a real possibility that a lot of what you see is rented for the photo shoot. The car? Rented for the day. The watch? Borrowed. The mansion? Someone else's house. Strategic camera angles and selective posting to create an illusion of wealth that doesn't actually exist. Why he can't get real money. So remember earlier when I said it was weird that he has over 500,000 Instagram followers but 0 confirmed brand partnerships? Time to explain why that is. In 2024, things got complicated for King Azoulay. An investigative YouTuber named John Bravo Films decided to actually look into King's background, and what he found was not great. Turns out King has a criminal conviction from 2008 when he was 18 years old. Court records show he pled guilty to violating California Penal Code Section 288, which involves assault, and, quote, admitted his guilt in open court, end quote. King has since released response videos disputing some characterization, but he acknowledged the plea deal happened. Court records also revealed he tried to legally change his name to Ben Aston, but the request was denied because he has an outstanding warrant. Then there's the skull conditioning thing. King has been promoting this training method where you intentionally bang your head against walls for an hour every day. He claims it makes your skull 4 times thicker and that he has learned it from Shaolin monks. Medical experts were less than thrilled because you know what banging your head against a wall for an hour a day actually does? It gives you brain injuries, traumatic brain injuries, CTE, memory problems, cognitive decline. It's literally self-inflicted brain damage. And he's telling young men to do this to themselves. Now, put yourself in the shoes of Nike, or Gymshark, or Under Armour. You're looking for influencers to partner with. You find a guy with 537,000 Instagram followers. Perfect. Then you Google him and find out that he has a criminal record, promotes literal brain damage as training advice, and his entire biography might be fabricated. Are you writing that check? Hell no. And that's why King Azoulay has exactly 0 confirmed brand deals. He made himself toxic to legitimate brands. He locked himself out of what should be his easiest and most lucrative revenue stream. And this is where the whole business model starts to make sense in a dark way. He can't get brand deals, so he has to totally rely on selling his own courses directly to his followers, which means he has to keep up the appearance of massive success because that's the only product he has left to sell. He's not selling fitness results anymore, he's selling the appearance of wealth and success. The lifestyle is the product, and if the lifestyle is fake, well, the product is fake too. The verdict. Let's put this in perspective. Andrew Tate claimed to be worth over $100 million. Romanian authorities investigated and found his actual net worth was about $12 million. That's still a lot, but it showed a pattern. These alpha male influencers consistently claim to be worth 10 times what they're actually worth. Tate's Hustler University was making a verified $5.65 million per month at its peak, with 113,000 to 133,000 students paying $50 each. King's version? 5 members on Skool. 5. Or look at Simeon Panda, a legitimate top-tier fitness influencer. He has 8 million Instagram followers, 15 times King's count. He makes $17.5 million per year across all revenue streams with a clothing line, equipment sales, supplement deals, and years of brand building. That's what success actually looks like at scale. King has been in the game for 18 months and burned most of his bridges already. So let's do the final math. King Azoulay makes somewhere between $150,000 and $500,000 per year from all verifiable sources. His expenses run between $220,000 and $600,000 per year. In the absolute best case scenario, he might be netting $100,000 to $200,000 per year in profit. That's a successful small business owner. That's nothing to sneeze at. But it's not a multi-million-dollar empire. It is not $150 million from a patent sale. It's not proof that his methods create massive wealth. And in the worst-case scenario, he's losing money every year while desperately maintaining the appearance of success to keep the course sales coming in. He's trapped in a cycle where he has to spend money to look rich so people will buy his courses on how to get rich, but the courses aren't selling well enough to actually make him rich, so he has to keep faking it harder. It's the influencer's equivalent of a Ponzi scheme, except he's only scamming himself. The tragic irony is that if he had just been honest from the beginning, saying, "Hey, I'm a successful contractor and I've built a decent following, let me teach you some business skills," he probably could have built a legitimate, sustainable business. But by claiming he's already conquered Mount Everest when he's actually still at base camp, he set himself up for this whole house of cards to collapse. Because here's the thing, math doesn't care about your aesthetic. It doesn't matter how good your Instagram feed looks. It doesn't matter how alpha your mentality is. If your expenses exceed your income, you're broke, period. And all the evidence suggests that King Azoulay is either barely breaking even or actively in the red, while projecting the image of a multimillionaire to sell courses to people who believe he's already made it. That's not alpha. That's not king mentality. That's just fraud, with good lighting and rental cars. So there you have it, the complete financial breakdown of King Azoulay's empire. Spoiler alert, there is no empire. If you enjoyed this deep dive into influencer finances and want to see more of these, make sure you're subscribed and drop a comment letting me know, who should I break down next? What other influencers' income would you like me to investigate? Because trust me, King Azoulay is definitely not the only one out here faking the lifestyle. Catch you in the next one.